Testing. Okay. We want to make sure that everyone stays hydrated too on this very hot day. There's some free waters back there. If you haven't picked one up, feel free to get one. All right, who's ready for Grand Prix weekend? Woo! Perfect way to kick off an amazing weekend. I was just telling Jim, why does it seem like it's always super hot on Grand Prix? He's like, don't complain about it. I'm like, I'm not. This is a good thing. So thank you all for joining us. Everyone here, locals from Long Beach, everyone visiting Long Beach, welcome to the Motorsports Walk of Fame. Yay! As we begin the induction ceremony, I would like to acknowledge some of the dignitaries that we have here join us today. Starting off with our city manager, Tom Modica. Yay! All our council members that we have here, and former inductees as well. Yay! And now I want to introduce our council member, Mary Zendejas, who will give some few words, and I'll hand it off to her. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the City of Long Beach, I welcome you here today to kick off the Grand Prix week by honoring two more racing legends into our Motorsports Walk of Fame. So excited for that. We are very excited to have them join this exclusive club of motorsport legends. For 47 years now, Long Beach has been home to the best racing in the world. In 2006, a long time ago, we decided to start honoring the most extraordinary people involved in motorsports, including the drivers and owners. Our storied inductees over the years are the virtual who's who of motorsport legends, including Phil Hill, Mario Andrade, Michael Andrade, Roger Penske, Parnelli Jones, Dario Francidi, Tommy Kendall, Dan Gurney, and many, many more. The Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach is by far our largest annual event, and we are honored to receive the tens of thousands of visitors it brings to our city of Long Beach each and every year. And now, at this time, I would like to welcome Councilwoman Allen to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. So great to be here. Just want to say a couple words. Race Weekend provides an excellent opportunity to showcase the revitalization to a vast national and international audience. Our gorgeous downtown waterfront is on display for the whole world to see. The race is viewed by millions of people in 178 countries all around the world. This race is very popular. The race is estimated to have an economic impact of $33 million, creating over 350 full-time jobs and $700,000 in increased tax revenue. Over 180,000 race fans come here for race weekend, and we are grateful for the chance to share Long Beach experience with every single one of our guests. This is the 47th Grand Prix in Long Beach, and this event this year will be broadcast and followed by race fans worldwide. And it all happens because of the hard work and dedication of Jim McCallion and his team at the Grand Prix Association of Long Beach. He is our hero. He's the face of this event. Ladies and gentlemen, the president and the CEO of Grand Prix Association Long Beach.
Thank you very much, Cindy. And on behalf of the Grand Prix, let me say welcome to all of you. This is a beautiful day, and it's going to be a little warm. We know that, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot better than looking up and seeing raindrops in the sky. So we're looking forward to having a great weekend. Yes, indeed, this is the kickoff to all the activities taking place over the next 3.5 days. It's wonderful to see all of you gathered out here, and to salute two very well-deserving pilots in the past, Alex Zanardi, and one in the present with Bill Oberlin, and we're delighted to be able to honor them here today. Before I get started, let me just say a couple words of thanks to the City of Long Beach, to the Convention Center, and to the Convention and Visitors Bureau for assisting us. They've been doing it for a number of years and doing a supremely good job of doing that. I'd also like to mention that they're providing some water in the back. I want to make sure that everybody stays hydrated here. So one, we'll keep the ceremony fairly short, and two, if you need to, help yourself to water before the session ends here. While we're talking about Motorsports Walk of Fame, let me take the opportunity to introduce a couple of members who have already been inducted in the Walk of Fame. Chris Spook here, the founder of the Grand Prix, is here. And behind me somewhere is Jimmy Vassar, who's a driver and team owner, successful, and another driver and very successful team owner, Chip Ganassi, who's been inducted in. And just as a coincidence, I was talking to Chip. When IndyCar first came here in 1984, the first poster we did featured a gentleman sitting in a number 40 Pat Patrick race car, and that gentleman was none other than Chip Ganassi. So he will forever be memorialized as a driver on our poster for that time. So we're delighted to have them here, and you know, this is an opportunity for us to celebrate two very important, significant individuals who have contributed so much to not only this event here, but obviously to our sport. Alex Zanardi, those of you who knew him, you knew how charismatic he was. You know, he had a magnetism about him that drew people to him, and by the same token, he very much basked in that adulation. And I think that was something that was, you know, unique and creative about who Alex was. And not only was he a very magnetic individual, but he also was a hell of a driver too. And you know, he won here 2 years, 97, 98. He also won the kart championship those 2 years. Was in Formula One for a couple of turns, and had a very successful career. Unfortunately, he had a tragic accident at Loudest Ring in 2001, which deprived him of the use of his legs. But Alex was not going to be impeded at all, and so he went on to compete in cycling, and actually won Paralympic gold medals. And that was one of the things that over the years, as we were trying to get him to come to Long Beach and be inducted into the Walk of Fame, he kept saying, "Jim, I'd love to come, but I've got to train, I've got to be involved, because my goal is to win in the Paralympics," and he certainly did that. And now he's had another incident that has suffered an additional injury, and so we felt it was time to get Alex to the due and recognition that he deserved. And so I reached out to Jimmy, who was obviously his teammate and very close friend, and we went to Daniela, who's Alex's wife, and asked if there was a way that we could get their permission, her and Alex's permission, to participate here, and she very generously said yes. So we're delighted to be able to acknowledge what Alex has contributed, not only to Long Beach, but also to the sport. And also, just sort of a side note, you know, there's a routine now that every time there's the end of a race that people do donuts in the street. For those of you who don't know, that particular ritual inseminated here in Long Beach in 1997 after Alex's first victory. If you don't believe me, go Google that and see what you'll read about. There also, by the way, was an amateur videographer who took pictures of that, and it's actually up on the web. I think it's under YouTube. You'll see Alex doing the first of what has now become a very routine practice, and that is donuts after the race. And just a point of irony, and Tom Modica here from the city will appreciate this. Our current contract with the city requires us to remove the tire marks from the concrete portion of the street. And I can tell you, every year when we see not only the IndyCar winner, but all the other winners go down and put marks on the street, I just watch the dollar signs just start to go up and up and up. And by the way, that just as an aside, we now have a long-term agreement with the city. We're going to be here through 2028, and it's going to be very beneficial. And thanks to Tom and his team for making that work. So. Back to Alex, and again, like I said, I really appreciate the opportunity that we have to present him as an inductee, and I want to thank Jimmy, and he's brought some special guests with him that he'll introduce, but for his assistance in making this happen. I think it was very timely, and we certainly welcome the opportunity to welcome Alex to the family. Jimmy?
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for taking my material. I was going to talk about the donuts, and but I could add to that. So Alex did that first. It was like a half donut anyway. It was a half spin, and then he took off. It was a terrible donut, but he had a lot of practice that year and started perfecting it and had all the adulation. People saw Brad Philby here. Remember they used to come with the fans would come with boxes of donuts to the trailer at the pits and give it to the team. And it got to be such a big thing, him and his donuts. And it was '97, and I was wearing #1 on my car, but I was not winning any races, 0 races until the end. But he was doing donuts every weekend, and you know, it was starting to become a bit annoying actually to me. And he was like, "Hey, Jimmy, what are you going to do when you win the next race? I do the donuts. What are you going to do?" And I was just like, "Hey, leave me alone, man. I got to win the race first." And then he says, I know what you should do." He's at Portland. Stop. He said he was always thinking like this. He said, "Stop on the front straight, get out of the car, take your gloves off, throw them to the fans in the stands, get back in the car, and then go to victory lane." And I was like, "Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate that." So Portland, he wins the race. He stops on the front straight. He gets out of the car, takes his gloves off, does a terrible throw. He couldn't throw. He threw like, you know, he never threw a football or something. And he throws the gloves. It hits the top of the fence. They fall on the track. He gets in the car and stalls it. So I'm glad I didn't have to do that. But finally he said, "You got to come up with something." So I said, "If I win a race, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to crash the car into the fence, and that should really piss Chip off." Huh? Because we used to like to find ways to make Chip mad and make fun of him and stuff. So sure enough, I finally won a race at Laguna Seca, and he won the championship. It was the last race of the year. And I'm coming down out of the corkscrew, and he pulls alongside of me, and he's wildly waving his arms, and I thought, "Oh, yeah, it's nice. He's happy for me." And he won the championship, and I waved back at him. And what he was doing is like, "This is the last corner. You haven't crashed the car yet." So he slams into me and runs me into the wall on the inside. I don't think it hurt the car too much, Chip, but so he helped me crash the car, and that was supposed to be my celebration. So, you know, racing with him was it was just the best time of my life. You know, it's 3 years. It was just the greatest, and we we got on a roll with Chip's team, and it was a great honor to drive with him alongside of him, and it's a great honor to stand up here and to represent him. And I'm sure he'll be back here when he heals up, and he'll be back here soon. But I also brought. I want to get Chip up here. Chip Ganassi and Max Pappas. Max, his best friend in Italy. Chip put us together with a great team. I want them to come up and honor him as well. So come on up, guys.
Thanks, Jimmy, and thanks everyone for being here this morning. I had the pleasure of being Alex Zanardi's car owner when he was in IndyCar racing at first, and Alex is the type of person that strung together a life that any 10 men could call lives. He strung together it in one life. Jim can talk about his accomplishments here at Long Beach, winning 2 years in a row, and Jimmy being his teammate. What I want to talk about with Zanardi was when he, after he left our team, he went back to Formula One, and then came back in IndyCar racing a few years later, had a terrible accident, as Jim said, at the Lausitz Ring in Germany in 2001, and lost both of his legs. We all thought that was obviously a terrible thing to happen. And I think here's the point I want to get across to everyone this morning is this. I think I talked about Zanardi and his accident and his legs. I think I talked to him one time about it. And then his life moved on from there. We never mentioned his legs again, or lack of legs. And his life moved on. And what we all thought was a great career in the United States and in IndyCar racing, any driver here would have loved to have those accomplishments. We didn't realize that was not the end of a career, but the beginning. It was really the beginning of another career. Alex went on to win at the Paralympics. I know he called me one time. It was going to do the New York Marathon, and I said, "Okay, man." I said, "Good luck." And on his Paralympic bicycle, I said, "Don't let us down." He goes, "Don't worry, I won't." And so after the race, he finished third the first time out, and I called him up and I gave him a little shit. I said, "Hey, you finished third. What's this third place stuff?" He said, "Cheap." He said, "I would have won the race, but I waited for the Italian, my teammate, to show me the way, and I waited 8 minutes for him, and I only lost the race by 3. He said, "I would have won." And that went on to Paralympic gold medals, silver medals. He's got a cachet of Olympic medals, Paralympic medals. And then he went on to a TV career in Italy and became a TV star, really, with a talk show, much like Oprah or whatever. He's like the Oprah of Italy, really, with his television show. So he went on to another life after that. So it was racing, it was Paralympics bicycling, it was a television show. And, he squeezed so many lives into one life and still going. So, and as Jim mentioned, he had a bicycle accident, and we're hoping all for a great recovery, but I think there's no better way to appreciate our friend, our teammate, our competitor, and our hero, Alex Zanardi, and I'm honored to be here today to help put him on the Walk of Fame. Thank you.
How do you follow this? It's kind of tough, huh? I met Alex when we were 14 years old. He has been really my best friend, and since we were young kids. I have a lot of memories, but maybe one of the best one that I want to share with you guys is something that not many people know. He met Daniela because Daniela was the team manager of our Formula 3 team. A couple of times when we were in free practice, he came to me and said, "Max, what do you think about her? She seemed tough." And I said, "Yeah, she's good for you. She can keep you in line." Until we showed up in Pergusa, Enna, Formula 3 race, And Alex decided to go he raced there before, and decided to go, said, Max, come over. We get Daniela's rental car, and I'm going to show you around the corner. First lap, all good. Then he said, Max, drive. Okay, jump in the driving seat. We're driving turn through, and typical Zanardi, pulled the handbrake. The next things happened. We both found ourselves upside down in Daniela's rental car. It took about 6 months of probation. We had to pay the things back to her. And we were right immediately on the blacklist. He ended up marrying that girl. And what can you say? The guy is just special. When he had his accident, I was racing with him back and forward. I think I finished second in the race in Lausitzring. And went and visited him in the hospital. He was on a wheelchair with tubes and stuff flying everywhere. And he kept looking down at my shoes. And I was like, what are you doing, Alex? And he went like this, are they new? Yeah, just bought them like 2 weeks ago. You see, that's a good thing. Seeing what happened to me, I will not have to spend money in buying new shoes. I mean, how can you match that? So he's been alive. His life has been a life changer for a lot of people in Italy. After his accident, he showed people that you can have another life even if things come through adversity to you. And he's going through another adversity, but I know that there is nobody better than him to show that when life throws a curveball to you, you react to it and you make something happen. So I'm so proud that we're celebrating him, with special people. Chip and Jimmy are really, people that they're so close to my heart. I met them through Alex. Actually, first time here in 1996 when I came and visited him. I was racing in sports car, and he was driving for Chip. So I'm so glad we're here celebrating his life and celebrating someone that started as a race car driver, but he became an icon as a human being. And that's how I like all of you guys to remember him and celebrating today.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. How about a round of applause again for all three and coming out. Thank you guys for coming out, paying tribute to Alex. It was really significant. And Mary, if you'll follow Mary down, Councilwoman Mary is going to come down and unveil Alex's medallion. You can join her there. Just to alert you, traditionally this would be where we would unveil the medallion. But in 2022, some things don't happen the way traditionally they do, and that has occurred here. We were notified this last Tuesday that the medallions would not be here today. So, very quickly, and I give credit to Kevin Lee, wherever he is, there he is, he put into force Plan B or C, whatever it was, and created some facsimiles of those of these two medallions, and they will unveil them. We'll unveil them today, and then when they arrive here, they'll be properly affixed into the sidewalk here on Pine Avenue. But if you want to join Mary and the group, we'll go ahead and take some photographs of Alex's pseudo medallion. So what do you think of that replica? Does that look fairly real? I think Kevin deserves another round of applause for having come to the rescue for us. You know, supply chain and difficulties with imports and all that good stuff. And here we have something that pretty accurately reflects our admiration for what Alex was able to achieve, and Bill too. And Bill is also a big part of this program. I know a lot of you are familiar with Bill because he's a local, born and raised here in Redondo Beach. In fact, I'm sure he'll relay the stories about how he's been attending this event for many, many years. And he's not only been a stalwart supporter of our event, but he's one great sports car driver. Just so everybody knows, today, as of today, Bill Oberlin holds the record for the most victories in IMSA history at 63. That's a phenomenal achievement, especially when you think about how many great drivers have come through the IMSA ranks over the years, and this gentleman has exceeded them all, and he's not done. He's still competing and probably will be able to add to that 63 number, hopefully starting here on Saturday. So we're delighted to have him here. You know, he won here twice in his class. He won at Daytona twice in his class, placed in top 5 twice at Le Mans, and has an illustrious career. And the fact that he's still going strong and his association with the BMW has existed for as long as it has really is a testimony to his skill and his talent. And you'll see him here competing on Saturday in the 96 car, Turner Motorsports, BMW M4 GT3 car. He'll be in the, stay with me here, the GTD class, which not to be confused with the GTD Pro class of IMSA, right? Yeah. You got it, okay. So it's really my privilege and honor to welcome Bill Oberlin, not only to the Motorsports Walk of Fame, but to Long Beach and our activities here today. Bill?
Yep, somebody didn't tell my team owner if your driver needs readers, you might need to consider a younger driver, but that's different. First off, what a total honor to be inducted into the Long Beach Walk of Fame. It's beyond words to express my gratitude for this honor. I'm totally humbled. It's crazy. Who would have thought it was 1975 and I stood right there. I was 7 years old. I was at this track. And I had a tape recorder in my little hand, and I would record the sounds of every race car, and then I would take them home and I would listen to these sounds, and if we played Name That Car in 2 notes, I could hit it like that, right? I mean, it basically was the impression, and it was ingrained in my little mind forever. The Long Beach Grand Prix set the stage for the rest of my racing career. I've pretty much been here every single year since they've run this race. At 7 years old, I couldn't even have had a dream big enough that would have somehow put me in a race car in this beautiful symbolic track. This goes to show that even the biggest dreams can come true. I've been so fortunate to be able to race the Long Beach Grand Prix quite a few times. I've driven in formula cars, prototype cars, GT cars. I've also been lucky enough to finish 3rd here quite a few times, 2nd, and I've won it twice as well. So that's kind of cool. I've got to say, I've raced and won some pretty cool events. Won Daytona a few times, Sebring 3 times, Petit Le Mans 4 times, and even this amazing race. And I must say that out of all of my racing highlights, I'm not kidding you, to be there is it's pretty amazing. I will not cry. I will not cry. How dare me do that? Okay, so I doubt it's going to happen. To be here, I'm 1% of the reason for being here. There's 99%, all the people around me that work so hard, that put in so much, I could never thank them enough. But they are the unsung heroes, and I need to thank a few of them. I'm sure I'll miss them, but no, it's all because of them. I'm gonna speed through this because you guys are getting hot. But my dad, my family, none of this would have happened without my dad. I just wanted to be wherever he was. You race motorcycles, you race cars. Thanks, Dad. Dad, it's right there, still there. Shanna's different. That's my girlfriend. You're my daily rudder. You keep me in the right direction. You keep my head clear. And your support means more to me than you'll ever know. Also, you're super hot. Just thought we'd got to know that. She'll be right there if you have to check her out. You know, actually, that's super rude. She won't be there. She'll be over there. It's shaded, so yeah, that's better. Oh yeah, here we go. It's so hot. It's melting everything. I just want to give her a hug after this event because she's the one I always share stuff with. But I'm pretty sure she wants to give me the Will Smith. So is that too soon? Too soon. Okay. All right. So BMW. I got to thank BMW, everybody at BMW for taking a chance 26 years ago. I can't imagine ever being with such a great company for so long, and we're still going strong. We're still winning races. We've won 7 championships, a bunch of records. We hold a lot of titles together. It's been amazing. I got to thank Victor Leloup, Dan Lubin, my new boss who's here. I'm glad he's here. It's amazing. And you can imagine, I've been through probably, in this career of 26 years, probably 15 or 16 BMW bosses. I'm hanging in there. I'm like a cockroach. You can't get rid of me. Never. There's a guy here that I've been with since I started BMW in 1996, and he's here. He's always around. It's Bill Cobb. Thank you, Bill Cobb. He was with me in 1997, so he's the second longest running guy at BMW. Thanks, Bill, for all you do. Will Turner. He is my team boss for the current team that I race for now. Will and I have been together for a long time. He puts up with me, and for that, I'm thankful for everything you do. You know, when you're with your team boss and you go to dinner and he goes, "What are you going to get? You're going to get a steak and a side salad?" And I'm like, "That's really mean that you would just say that." And then the waitress comes and she goes, "What would you like?" I go, "I'll take a steak and a side salad." So he can order for me. He knows me better than I know myself. Robbie Foley, my teammate, he's right over there. I always tell people how great you are, and I truly mean it. You're the triple F, right? I just made that up. Fun, fast, and the future of the sport. I'm honored to be a small part of your career. People ask me, how is he so great in qualifying, right? What some people here don't know, in our series, Robbie has to qualify. You know, that's the way it is, and I'll finish the race. So normally, the day of qualifying, I will try to impart some words of wisdom. Normally, I will do it in private, but we're here in Long Beach, and qualifying is tomorrow, so I might as well give him some of my words of wisdom of how we do it, since I do hold the pole position record forever. And it's pretty simple, right? So, okay, here it is. Robbie, basically what you do is tomorrow's qualifying. You remember those secrets that you didn't want me to tell anybody ever? You either get that pole, or I will tell everybody those secrets, right? It's very simple. You just throw it, you know, it's the new generation. You got to keep them motivated. So there you go. Team RLL, Bobby Rahal, the leader of that team. Great team, great leader. Thanks so much. Team PTG, Tom Milner. You were the first guy to ever give me a shot. I appreciate it. It's given me a life, and so I appreciate it. To my friends, they're all here. Wow, there's a lot of friends here. I cherish your friendship and all your support. So many came today, and I love each and every one of you. When I look around at my friends, they're pretty famous, actually, or infamous is more the word. Half of their pictures are up at the post office, and the other half are up on the liver transplant list. So, okay. To my sponsors, we have quite a few over the years, and none of this is possible without you. The year was 1997. It was Daytona for the 24-hour race, right? We had a new sponsor that we weren't totally familiar with. It was called Red Bull, right? This was new to us. Just before the race began, the cases were getting stacked higher and higher and higher in our pit box. My crew guys began to dabble in the amazing drink as the race began. With every stint I ran, the pile became smaller and smaller. But I had the most insane team with wings that you'd ever seen. These guys were amazing. We had 1 hour left in the race. We were leading with a 4-lap lead, which is unheard of now, when our windshield began to cave in. Right? The drivers were in the car, were trying to support the windshield with our hands. Eventually, the series, IMSA, came over and said, "Hey, you need to fix your windshield. It's caving in." Tom Milner, the team boss, said, "It's fine. There's nothing wrong." The series said, "Hey, look, we have an onboard camera. We see this thing is folding in. It's totally unsafe." So they made us They made us come in. All right. So we were forced to come in, and my Red Bull filled team jumped into action and ripped the windshield out with their bare hands and put a new one in record time. We won the 24 Hours of Daytona by seconds over the next car. I will never forget the cars that stood in victory lane, bruised, beaten, dirty from the hard-fought battle. What really stood out was the streaks of blood all around the windshield for my crew. The amazing efforts our crew and sponsors go through is nothing short of amazing. I would also like to thank the City of Long Beach for putting on such a great event and allowing us 7-year-olds to have our dream here and us 53-year-olds to be able to live out our dream here. All right. Finally, I'd like to thank my mom. She's not here anymore, but she would have loved this. Thanks, Mom. Thanks to everybody else.
Thank you, Bill. That truly was heartfelt, and we appreciate all that you've done, not only here in Long Beach, but for the sport, and we're delighted to be able to induct you into the Motorsports Walk of Fame today. Cindy, if you wouldn't mind, Cindy Allen joining Bill at the medallion, and we'll present the pseudo medallion to Bill and to you too. Yeah.
One thing real quick.
Oh, you want to say something? Sure.
Yeah, I just want to say, I feel like I've hit the lotto getting to meet you today, and your words were just so encouraging, and just want to welcome you to the Long Beach Motorsports Hall of Fame, and I want you to know I'm going to find me a BMW shirt today, and I'm going to wear it all weekend, and I'm rooting for you.
Very good. Another round of applause for Bill Oberlin, who's now inducted into the Long Beach Motorsports Walk of Fame. Want me to straighten that out? That's done. Yeah, there you go. All right, if we have it, the pictures taken and everybody has photographed this for history, why, I want to take the opportunity to thank all of you for coming out. It's nice and warm. It's guaranteed. We've been told that it'll be cooling off before the weekend is over. But thank you again, and we look forward to conducting this ceremony again in 2023. Thank you very much.